Hello, my name is Rimantas, I'm yoga teacher. Let's talk today about why people who practice yoga and yoga teachers, why they do not eat meat, fish and eggs. Most of people who practice yoga, they become vegetarians. They do not eat meat, fish and eggs in their diet. Nowadays it is also very popular and positive to go on vegan diet. Personally, I do not eat meat for more than 8 years. Do not eat meat, fish and eggs. It makes my life much more light, much more healthy, and I feel very good about it. Nowadays there are a lot of researches, a lot of studies that shows that harmony balanced vegetarian diet is very healthy and valuable for human body and immunity system. There are many reasons why people decide to become vegetarians. Some people have health reasons, some people have ethic and moral reasons, some people have karmic reasons, some people have social reasons. In yoga practice, there are one of main principles, ahimsa. Ahimsa, it is principle of non-violence and principle of non-killing and non-harm to all living beings. So in order to have good result in yoga practice, we need to apply those yoga principles, and ahimsa are one of those principles that we need to apply in our life. When we do this, then our yoga practice becomes much better and much more effective. Other people, for example, have health reasons. A lot of modern doctors, they know that people are dying not because of age. They know that people are dying because of impurities that are inside of their bodies. So what happens when meat enters our body? We have our digestion tract, and it has length of from about 8 to about 12 meters. It means very long digestion tract. And when meat enters our body, boiled meat needs about more than 50 hours to be digested. Raw meat about 73 hours. So the idea that the more we need to digest product, the more impurities it creates, the more bacteria it creates when it rots. So please imagine, please compare. Fruit, we digest fruit in approximately about from 2 to 3 hours. And now please compare it with meat. We need more than 50 hours to digest meat product because it is very complex. So the more we have products that we need very long time to digest, the more it creates impurities, the more it creates bacteria, that creates a lot of diseases, that creates a lot of illnesses that are not very useful for human body and for human life. So one more reason why people become vegetarians, it is moral and ethic reason. Somewhere inside people know that it is not a right way to harm others. It means somewhere inside people understand that in order to live happily, in order to live in harmony, we need to share and spread a harmony around us. So Somewhere inside we know that way of harming and way of killing, it is not the way how we should treat animals. This is not the way how we should treat all living beings. For example, in Hinduism and even in yoga practice, we see outer world as an expression, as a form of God. For example, in Hinduism, everything that you see around, it is form of God. And whatever comes, it is a human, or it is animal, or it is whatever form. It is form of God. And the way how you communicate, the way how you what relation you have with this object or person or animal, the way you create relationship with Almighty, with Atman, with Parabrahman, with Absolute. So this is also another reason why some of people decide to become vegetarians, decide not to eat meat, fish and eggs, because they feel that inside of animals there are the same higher soul that we can call Atman, Brahman or Absolute. And because of that, they feel that there are connection between them and between other people, between other animals, and between the whole universe. There are one more reason why people decide to become vegetarians. It is karmic reason. It is very interesting moment and actually very important moment. Please understand that law of karma says that whatever you do for others, you get the same back. It means if you do something good for others, you get something good back in this life or in your future lives. If you do something bad to others, then you get something bad in this life or in future lives. So karma, actually everything what happens in our life, it is karma. All those good things that you have in life, it is reason because in previous lives, there is a theory that in previous lives you did a lot of good things, a lot of good jobs, and because of that you get all those good things now in this life. And the same what you are doing now for others, you will get the same back in the future. So now let's get back to the vegetarian topic. So if a person eats meat, there can be only two reasons why he can do this. First reason, in his previous lives, he was animal, somebody were killing him and somebody were eating him, and now this person eats his own bodies. And another reason, if now person eats meat, it creates karma in the future to become animal, and that somebody would need to kill him and eat in animal body. So people who practice yoga and who have experience of how law of karma works in this life, they understand that it is not useful to get bodies like animals, because when we are comparing animal bodies and human bodies, so human body is much more better and much more higher in evolution, because animals, they usually live in the level of instincts, and human can make much more things in this life. Also also there are reasons, there are low-level souls, there are high-level souls. But the idea that karma, that if person eats meat, it can be only two reasons. It can be by karma, his past, or it can be by karma, his future. So people who practice yoga, they just understand that they don't want to go back into animal world, and because of that they stop eating meat and they do not create karma to have relation with animal world. There are also another reason, for example, social reasons why people decide to become vegetarians. For example, when in your surroundings there are a lot of people who are killing animals, so those people have some kind of negative attitude towards external world, towards animals. Sometimes they have a negative attitude towards other people. So when you live in a society where everybody looks into each other like into enemies or something like this, it is very hard to live. Because in order to have good relationship in life, we need to create good relationship with each other. Friendly, calm, helping. And because of that, we can grow in our evolution. So there are different levels of consciousness, and of course a lot of people, they are very different. Because of that, you see all this variety, that there are a lot of people are different and they differently see this world. So please understand that the more we act in this life like animals, if we live on instinct level, we act like animals, then our level of consciousness is very gross. And if we start to implement high moral principles in our life, if we start implement principles like compassion, like tolerance, like all good principles, moral principles that help us to become more human, more friendly, more open to all others, then we start living absolutely different way of life. So it is also one of the reasons why people decide to become vegetarians. Now, another interesting moment about energy. For example, when animals are living in farms, they are in very negative energy, because animals, they feel what will happen to them, and there are even videos that you can find on the internet when animals are crying. There are cow, somebody are going to kill her, and cow is crying because she knows what will happen and she don't want to feel that. So all the time when you are doing something towards others, please ask yourself, do you want that somebody would do the same for you? So if you would not be in the place of that cow or of that animal, so why you're doing the same to others? Yes? So always just ask, if I want to get the same what I'm doing to others. And then you will realize that you would not want to be killed, or you would not want to feel all those negative feelings that comes when animal dies. So energy that are around this animal, it is very low level. And when animal body have all this negative energy, when people are eating meat, with meat they also take all this negative energy inside. Did you notice that people who are eating a lot of meat, They are very fearful. They have a lot of fears. They have a lot of phobias. Now, did you notice that they're sometimes very nervous? Yes, have very strange emotions, have very strong emotions, something, but on like negative. Did you notice that people who are eating a lot of meat, they are usually a lot of very aggressive? Yes, and it happens not because people are bad. No, it happens because they eat meat that has inside this negative emotions that animal had in his life before he was killed. So the more you are purifying yourself from inside, the more your energy becomes clean and more higher quality. And because of that, different thoughts, different ideas, better ideas, higher level of ideas comes to your mind, and your life quality becomes much better. I will give you simple example. Please imagine there is a trash bin. Yes? Did you notice that when you live in very clean house, very clean home, very clean flat, it is very comfortable, it is very nice. Yes, you feel very good because everywhere are very clean. Now please imagine that your room or your house, it's full of impurities, full of trash. It will be very, very disgusting to live in such a house, right? So the same happens in our body. When you eat meat or when you eat food that are very hard to digest for our body from inside becomes like a trash bin, like a house where there is only trash inside. And when you start to purify yourself from inside, you get that taste of purity. And you notice that there are different feelings, how you feel when you, for example, eat meat, and for example, when you on vegetarian diet. In Ayurveda, there were stated that different food gives different states of mind. It means food that we are eating, different food, it gives different state of mind. For example, our state of mind can be dull, can be like very depressive, one of the states, or very sleepy. Another, it's called, by the way, it's called tamas. Then another state, like very active, you know, when your mind have a lot of wishes, a lot of desires, like very running everywhere. So it is rajas. Some food gives this state. And there are one more state, it's called Satwa. And Satwa, it is very pure, very clean and very harmony state of mind. It means when you are in Satwa, you are very calm inside and you see this life in very harmony way. It means there can happen a lot of different situations, but inside you feel very stable, very harmony, and you understand everything what happens around. Very, very nice, very light state of mind, sattva. So when we are eating meat it's tamas. Meat gives tamas. Meat gives dullness. Meat gives, sleepy state of mind. And when we are in tamas energy, we don't want to do anything. Did you notice that sometimes when you eat a lot of meat, after that you want what? To go to sleep. And what are the reasons for this? Because when you eat a lot of food that our body needs a lot of energy to digest, then all energy from all the body system goes only to digest that food. So because of that, you feel sleepy and want to sleep. So now please imagine, if you put inside of you a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits that are much more faster to digest, so you release a lot of energy that you can use for your other needs. So it is very useful because we could say you get free energy that you can use for your personal needs, for your personal projects, for your personal needs, desires, and all things that you need in this life. So this is one more reason why people become vegetarians, why they stop eating meat, fish and eggs, because they feel that they have a lot of energy. All this good energy makes their body much more healthier. They can use this energy for a lot of different activities, a lot of different tasks, and life becomes better. So, for example, in the past, there were a lot of famous people who were talking about vegetarian food, who were talking about positive impacts on vegetarian diet. For example, Leonardo da Vinci, for example, Lev Tolstoy, for example, Buddha Shakyamuni, a lot of yoga masters, for example, Pythagore, very famous, Plato, for example, Nikola Tesla, Joe Bernard Shaw, Mahatma Gandhi, and many more. A lot of those famous people, they were talking about ahimsa, and they were talking, a lot of them were talking about harm of meat eating. Now let's talk about fish. Fish, it is also animal, and fish also feels all that pain when fisherman catches that fish. So nowadays it is very hard to find clean fish because all waters are very impure nowadays. All seas, oceans, lakes, and so on, because people in this life, in this world, they use a lot of chemicals that spreads into environment, and because of that, water becomes more and more impure, because of plastic, because of all other chemicals and impurities. And when fish lives in this impure water, fish gets a lot of hard metals, a lot of chemicals, and it accumulates in fish body. So when people get all this fish and when eat this fish, so all those impurities goes straight to human body. Now also fish that you can find nowadays in the shop, usually these fish were grown in some kind of fish farms, and in order to grow fish in those farms, they put a lot of chemicals in order to make those fishes more bigger and in order to grow faster. So those fishes usually they live in a lot of chemicals, and when you buy some kind of fish in shop, you get all those chemicals in your body. So there are very huge difference between fish that you bought in the shop and between fish that you find somewhere in the top of the mountains, in some kind of mountain river. And there is another very interesting moment that nowadays we have very huge variety of various food, of various fruits, of various vegetables, of lentils, beans, and a lot of plant-based food variety. So nowadays we have very huge variety of food what we can eat. Some people say that meat is very important. Maybe it was very important when there were no another food to eat, maybe. But nowadays, when we go to shop or when we go to market or to any other place where we can buy a lot of vegetables, a lot of spices, a lot of fruits, a lot of dry fruits, and a lot of many things that comes from plants that are natural based, and we can eat all these things. So one of the best benefits of plant-based diet that there are no limits and restrictions in eating plant-based food. So vegetarian diet, it is actually plant-based diet, and plant-based diet means less impurities inside, more good energy. Plant-based diet means better health. There are a lot of researchers that says that a lot of diseases that comes from meat eating, fish eating, egg eating, it shows that all those studies shows that plant-based diet, it restores your health and regenerates your cells, regenerates your inner organs. It's a much more fresh and clean diet than any other diet. So when you become vegetarian or when you become vegan, when you start eating plant-based food, you become more healthy, you become more happy, you become more light, your body weight becomes much better. Yes, because why people become so overweight? Because of all these impurities. When you eat plant-based food, you digest it very fast and you feel very good because you have a lot of good energy. So personally, me, as I said, more than 8 years I'm on vegetarian diet and I'm very happy about it. I feel very good, I feel very healthy. I also do yoga practice, I also give yoga practice for other people, and by doing this I feel very good, I feel very in a good energy level, and I see the difference in my thoughts. I remember that when I was eating meat, there were very different, sometimes very strange ideas sometimes came to mind. But when you start to purify yourself, when you start looking what to eat, which one food is better, more lighter, gives you more health, then your attitude towards world, towards yourself starts to change the better side. So you can try, you can just experiment, and if you will make an experiment, for example, 3 months of vegetarian diet, nothing wrong will happen. But something good can happen for sure. Just experiment, just try, and who knows, maybe this experience can be very good and positive to you. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that it will be helpful for you and for your yoga practice. If you have additional questions, please write it in comment section. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Goodbye.